only justified if the commencement is even more special.
By any chance, do you mean an formal greeting?
Quite the opposite, because only special recognition will suffice our guests.
I get where you're coming from. तो हो जाए
हो जाए,
वीरानी सी छाई थी इस बाजार में
रोशनी आई है आपके साथ उपहार में।
खड़े हैं हम आज आप यहाँ आपके स्वागत में
बात ही है हमारे मेहमानों में कुछ ऐसी जो ना हो हजारों में। Now that's how we welcome our guests.
Precisely. By the way, a rhetorical question for you, Domini. What is a debate?
We'll come to that. But first, a very hearty welcome and a spectacular morning to everyone who has marked their presence here today to make this event possible. I, Nihai Chauhan,
And I, Himankar Mishra, stand before you as your host. Indeed, it is an honor to have every single one of you here present today at the second Inter-School Debate Competition, proudly hosted by Sardar Doon Public School.
having said that, let us now welcome our chief guest and the esteemed panel of judges.
Coming in first, we have our chief guest, Honorable Chief Justice Sir Prakash Tatia. His field of practice as an advocate remains civil, revenue, trial, and appellate constitution. He was elevated as a judge in Rajasthan High Court in 2001, nominated by Chief Justice of India as a member of Advisory Committee of the National Court System of the Supreme High Court of India. Sir took his oath as a Chief Justice of Jharkhand High Court in 2011. Sir, it is indeed a privilege to host you as a guest.
A huge round of applause for sir. I would now request the Senior Coordinator, Sardar Doon Public School, Ma'am Purvi Kakkar, to kindly present the sapling as a token of welcome to Sir Tatia. Now for our jury members. Firstly, we have Dr. Jagnati Upadhyay, Assistant Professor and Head, Department of English, Sardar Patel University of Police, Security and Criminal Justice, Jodhpur. PhD net, ma'am has secured not only one or two, but a total of 7 gold medals throughout her academic career of 27 years. Her area of research has remained one of the most vital subjects in the contemporary world: feminism and queer studies, ego-criticism and ego-feminism. Dr. Upadhyay has also presented papers at international and national conferences, in seminars in Poland, New York, Rome, and multiple central and government universities in India. Ma'am, it is our honor to have you among us today as our jury member.
We have request Head of Department English, Sardar Doon Public School, Dr. Aruna Sharma, to present a sapling to Dr. Jagnati Upadhyay as a token of welcome. Today we also have with us Dr. Rajshri Ranawat, Assistant Professor English, Jain Narayan Vyas University. Her interest resides in English literary history, partition literature, as foreign literature, LGBTQ studies, and many more. Her research topic remains Divided Legacy, a study of selected stories of India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. Dr. Ranawat has presented many research papers in national and international seminars, published several articles in literary journals of national and international repute and books. She has also edited a book entitled History Reconstructed.
I request Ceremonial Sharma, Supervisor, Grade 10, Sardar Doon Public School, to kindly present the sapling as a token of welcome to Ma'am Rajshri.
Can we please have a huge round of applause for our judges and chief guests?
I would now humbly request our jury members and our chief guest and principal ma'am for the lamp lighting ceremony. And we really call it Reverend Ma Saraswati without melody, which is why I call upon the stage our melody makers.
and man, and of course our vocalists for their wonderful performance.
There's a saying I believe in, Hema. Dance is the language of the soul, one that speaks without words. Which is why I now call upon the stage Manasvi Chaudhary, a student of grade 11 Humanities, for her welcome dance performance. Such a spectacular performance deserves more acknowledgement. Can we once again have a huge round of applause for them? So now, Hemal, coming back to your rhetorical question, what is the debate you asked? The art of putting forth one's differing views in a way which persuades the other is what I believe a debate is. And what really is a debate without a topic that not only stimulates the conscious but also forces us to look at the agenda from all spheres of its existence.
Oh, so that's what it means. And before we introduce today's subject of debate, let me just present something that dropped out forth in my mind. कोई समय था जब इंसान में इंसानियत का गुरूर था, कोई समय था जब इंसान में इंसानियत का गुरूर था, विकास की वो राह आज दिखाई नहीं दे रही। पुकारे ये जमीन आसमान ईश्वर अल्लाह तुझे, ये भावी आवाज सुनाई नहीं दे रही। लड़ पड़े हैं अंधभक्त धर्म की आड़ में, लड़ पड़े हैं अंधभक्त धर्म की आड़ में कि सच्ची वृद्धि की राह दिखाई नहीं दे रही।
Well, what can I say? But let me answer you in your own way. May I? धर्म की राह चुनी है तो उसके लिए विद्रोह के पथ पर खुद को मोड़ना होगा। कौन सी उन्नति है जिसकी बात कर रहे हैं हम? हर इंसान को ईश्वर के नाम का भरोसा, आशा मिली और कहते हो उस एकमात्र गुरूर को तोड़ना होगा। अरे असली विकास तो वो है, अरे असली विकास तो वो है जो साक्षात परमात्मा के नाम में हो, वरना मोक्ष और मुक्ति के सपने को भी छोड़ना होगा।
I am in a dilemma right now. And as a matter of fact, I believe we both can go on and on and on.
But that's the spirit of debate.
Exactly. And one thing, I guess we both can agree on that today we are going to have some very fierce, passionate and definitely mind-blowing and conscience-shaking debates which are going to force us to think about the same even after the event ends.
For sure. And am I not looking forward to this adventure? So now, without any further wait, let us introduce the debate's agenda.
Pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism, a hindrance to integrated development.
And now that we have set in the motion, we will declare the guidelines. Kindly pay attention.
Proposition for the debate competition is pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism, a hindrance to integrated development.
The team supporting the motion advocates the idea that pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism is a hindrance to integrated development, whereas the team opposing the proposition advocates that it does not hinder the integrated development.
Kindly note that the script should have a balance of content and rebuttal. Facts presented in the debate must be accurate and relevant.
Each participant will only be given a maximum 5 minutes time to speak. A reminder bell will ring after 4 minutes and a concluding bell after 1 minute.
Please note that no participant is allowed to read from any source or paper.
The first speaker will be given 1 minute time to rebut the proposition once the last speaker finishes.
If any participant exceeds the permissible time limit, points will be deducted at the discretion of the judges.
Participants kindly note that you will be judged on the following criteria: content 40 marks, rebuttal 30 marks, presentation and manner 30 marks.
In case of a tie, the decision of the jury will be the final.
And please remember that you need to oppose the proposition, not the speaker.
With that being said, let us now call our very first debater speaking in favor on the stage. F1.
I request the jury members to kindly note that this is speaker number F1.
where development is hindered by the evils of pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed judges, respected teachers, and my worthy opponents. Today, I, Muskan, would like to present my views for the motion of given topic. Pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism as a hindrance towards integrated development of a country. Pseudo-secularists are the individuals who claim to be secular but are biased towards one religion in their action. Media, being the fourth pillar of our democracy, plays a very crucial role in the development of a country by making its citizens aware about the crucial issues going on within the country. But today, the topic of debate for our so-called secularist media is how an MLA ate fish during Navratri. And no one is even commenting about the rise in unemployment rates, excessive control over our central agencies like CBI and ED. Because our polarized media is more concerned towards religious appeasement than addressing the real issue. So yes, development of a country is hindered when media is polarized due to pseudo-secularism. Nowadays, it is clearly evident how political parties are being biased towards one religion for their vote bank, how they prioritize religious rhetoric over economic development of the country. Major policies are towards appeasing certain religious sentiments than addressing the real issues, and many crucial policies in this process get stalled. Today, the consequences of pseudo-secularism are evident in every aspect of our society, from education to employment, from government to law enforcement. So how can we even expect to progress in a society when our leaders are more concerned towards religious appeasement? A society where minorities are left aside, and a society where places of certain religions are possible. So yes, the development of a country is hindered when political parties try to fake secularism just for the sake of gaining votes. Moreover, religious chauvinism, a belief that one's religion is superior than others, serves as adding fuel to the fire, a fire which breeds intolerance. These religious dogmas slows down our progress by reducing scientific development, a culture of questioning, and critical thinking. Now think of the talent which is lost eternally in the walls of prejudices and stereotypes. A very prominent example of this is how the famous astronomer Galileo, which we all have heard about in our textbook, was forced to recant his views by the Catholic Church just because he went against the geocentric model of universe supported by the Church. So yes, the development is hindered, and religious chauvinism being considered as the root cause of all religious tensions and clashes, and many foreign investors are often seen running away from regions that are plagued again with religious tensions. So, the scientific development, my friends, it also hampers our economic development. So how can I be wrong in saying that yes, the development of a country is hindered by religious chauvinism as it hampers our scientific and economic development. And with that, my friends, it also hampers our ability to work together as the United Nations. The example of Turkey, a secular state which lacks proper FDI, which is foreign direct investment, because of the internal politics going on within the country. Religion is important for development of an individual, community, and country. And today, even the global institutions like IMF and World Bank recognizes it. But religious extremism is not. So therefore, there is a huge need for true secularism, which guarantees equal rights and respect for all religions. At last, I would like to conclude with a famous quote of Chief of the World Bank. That is, the world should learn to meld economic assistance with spiritual, and that the development of humankind should go hand in hand with religion, spiritual, and social considerations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, participant. I would now like to call speaker number 1 speaking against the motion.
I request the jury members to note that it is contestant number 8. 81, contestant number 81.
Secularism, is modern times. In its truest form, it upholds the idea of religious equality or treating every Muslim equally irrespective of their religious beliefs. Good morning to one and all present here. Today I would like to mark my words with a case push on the topic pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism as a hindrance to integrated development. Now, similar to how democracy is democracy, equality is equality, so when it says secularism, you might have most of the literal meaning of secularism. For instance, provincial justice is the only kind of justice that exists, and there cannot be any only or false justice behind it. Because just consider how someone might receive justice and have it simultaneously referred to as pseudo-justice. By this, I simply want to say that if a country is secular, or in the legal or official papers, if a country has adopted the provision of secularism, then there cannot simply exist any such term of pseudo-secularism, which means the existence of secularism and just portraying it as a ground reality. You don't believe in it. It's like either you're providing it or not. Religious chauvinism and pseudo-secularism are often considered hindrance to integrated development. But I feel it's completely wrong to use them in a negative sense and slander them. Because we need to know the ground reality. But before that, religious chauvinism, which means extremism or superiority towards one's own faith, cannot exist in a society which believes in equal rights, representation, and opportunities to all the religions. Therefore, religious chauvinism and pseudo-secularism cannot coexist. In fact, it has been observed that secular nations tend to have fewer rights than those who prefer to adopt single religion or monotheism for their entire nation. For instance, Islamic countries like Iran and Iraq primarily observe minority rights in their countries. But not just that. In addition to those, there are many intra-faith or intra-religious rights that are seen in those countries. Like between the two major group of Muslim community, which is Shia and Sunni. From the very beginning of human history, religion has always played a significant role in the holistic development of a person. In addition to that, there have been numerous cases like that in Japan, where the people have fought for the preservation of the country's culture, religion, and tradition. Even today, each country is known for having a unique identity, a cultural identity, a traditional identity, a religious identity, which adds up to their overall identity and aids to their development. If you take a look at India's tourism sector, it contributes 6% of the total GDP of India and employs 32.1 million Indian people, where religions, each with their own customs and traditions, plays a crucial role. If religion wouldn't have played a crucial role in the integrated development of a country, then today we won't be provided with Egyptian pyramids, Greek statues and monuments, and Indian Vedas, Ishas and medical students. And believe me, my friends, when I say that no single religion, and again, no single religion on the entire planet teaches extremism or chauvinism to their devotees. Instead, religion is the first one to teach ethics, etiquette, and moral values in the entire life of a person. And that is the reason, my friends, why even after Hindus contribute 60% of the total population of India, still India has adopted the provision of secularism. And today, India is a land of diverse religion, living with each together with around 1.45 billion people living with unity and integrity. Last but not the least, today, ladies and gentlemen, I can wear Islamic hijab or a Hindu sari or a Sikh turban. But my identity, which is going to be decided by the educational structure I've been through, has to stay Indian. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would now like to call second speaker from proposition, contestant number F2.
you remember spy mode? This is contestant number F2.
Imagine a library, day dedicated to burning books. So while a library usually symbolizes ideas, information, knowledge, on this day, it would flip this concept and instead of promoting access, imagine a library with a day dedicated to burning books. Is it alright? Imagine a library with a day dedicated to burning books. So while a library usually symbolizes ideas, information and knowledge, on this day it would flip this concept and instead of promoting access to knowledge, actively destroy it, silencing specific viewpoints. A very good morning to the office gang. Today I, Code F2, would like to speak vehemently for the motion. My example from earlier highlights the hypocrisy of a system that claims neutrality but has hidden biases or limitations. This is similar to pseudo-secularism, where the state might claim to treat all religions equally, but its actions restrict or disadvantage certain religious practices. The struggle for power has always made religion its biggest victim, both spatially and temporally. Even the Crusades, which were a series of religion-based wars meant for reclaiming Jerusalem, was for demonstrating a sense of religious superiority that fueled violence. To further elaborate, I would like to make use of the example of Sri Lanka. According to Sri Lanka's Supreme Court, it is considered a secular state, citing the Chapter 2, Part 9 and Article 14 of the Sri Lankan Constitution. However, the discrimination against non-Sinhalese nationals is in stark contrast to this. And we all very well know about the financial condition of Sri Lanka, which was a direct consequence of government policies favoring the Sinhalese. Or in other words, religious chauvinism. A more recent example would be of the Rohingya situation in Myanmar, where the Buddhist majority is prosecuting the minority, labeling them as outsiders. Needless to say, the financial condition in Myanmar has been abysmal, with it seeing a 10% reduction in its economy size since 2019 and ranking 147 out of just 189 countries in the Human Development Index. Negligence leads to discontentment, which leads to rebellion and in turn becomes chaos. Not recognizing and protecting different religions in the country has invariably led to disarray and pandemonium. And people still quote examples of countries with homogeneous populations to prove a point about secularism to me. But really, that's like having a torch in the day and calling yourself well equipped for the sun. Yet when we talk about pseudo-secularism, it would be ignorant to not discuss about the situation in India. India, the hotbed of controversy, a state which is proud of and is plagued by the misery of religions. And it is a shame that even after the partition, the leaders in India use the same colonialist mindset to shepherd the populace into achieving their political gains and deviate from the main agenda of development. So I ask you, my learned audience, how could the pretense of an essential right and the feeling of superiority by a select few ever make holistic development a reality? Integrated development takes place when different disciplines work together throughout the development process and reap the benefits of their labor in a similar fashion. So while India has seen impressive growth over the last couple of decades, it cannot amount to integrated development due to various factors like income disparity in relation to specific communities, unemployment rates, and more. India undoubtedly marches forward, but inefficient, taking 2 steps ahead and then a step back. And I agree that no religion promotes hatred or violence. Rather, it is the failure of secular forces, political apathy, and, most importantly, the misinterpretation of religion which causes the society we have to turn into a dehumanized and undesirable society, which inhibits and impeds an integrated development from taking place. And at a time when we need to focus and draw our energies on facing new cultural and economic challenges. It is deeply unfortunate that we have to deploy our means and minds to combat such significant things like pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism. In the end, I would like to quote a great man who once said that history is like a mirror that reflects humanity's mistake. Humanity is blind to its reflection because it repeats this mistake every single day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I will now call the second speaker speaking against the motion, contestant number A2. I request jury members to note that it is contestant number A2, contestant number A2.
Respected judges, educators, audience, and my awarding proponents, I challenge the notion that pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism hinder integrated development. Secularism does coexist with religious pride, nurturing a diverse yet harmonious society. In our societal world, pseudo-secularism acts as a needle, not as a pair of scissors, stitching our diverse branches into a cohesive whole. This gentle tool binds our fabric with empathy and understanding, bridging divides instead of creating chasms. It delicately weaves through the threads of belief, uniting rather than severing. Religious chauvinism, when channeled constructively, becomes a force. It shapes souls into notions and radicals into healers. It guides us to community service where hands reach across the divide to feed the hungry, not the destitute, and shelter the weary. And what of philanthropy? Temples, mosques, and gurudwaras open their doors not only for prayers but for the wounded, the orphan, and the forgotten. Their coffers spill forth like rivers of compassion, irrigating parched lands. Festivals, rituals, and stories, they bind us to our roots, reminding us that we are custodians of a shared heritage. While some may perceive our current era as one of adversities and challenges, the reality paints a different picture. In fact, we find ourselves in the most promising period. Progress, innovation, and positive transformations abound, shaping a world that holds immense potential for growth and betterment. Abolition of the triple talaq liberated Muslim women from the clutches of archaic oppression. The scrapping of Article 370 was a masterstroke for national unity, removing a divisive barrier hindering Jammu and Kashmir's progress. And the construction of Ram Mandir in Ayodhya, a demonstration of the commitment to restoring Hindu heritage through lawful means and inclusive discourse. Amidst the cacophony of criticism, present government's firm efforts to bring peace to Jammu and Kashmir stand tall, prioritizing stability and development. These actions, though fiercely debated, undoubtedly propel India towards a brighter, more inclusive future. Unquestionably, there are stupid things that are happening in the world, but the voices of our country will hopefully rectify that. Forgive my proponents, for they don't know the fact that Bharat is the banner tree under which the world looks. In the global arena, Prime Minister Modi composes a diplomat par excellence. His strides resound worldwide.
He is the only Indian Prime Minister to have visited Iran, Israel, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates during a single term. His visits have fostered cordial relations and strategic partnerships. Qatar listens, Saudi Arabia honors, and UAE opens the doors, a bridge between deserts and peaks. The world's countries believe in him when he claims that when Indians progress, the development of the world also gets a boost. When India grows, the world grows. When India reforms, the world transforms. My intention was not to praise him, but to highlight the contrast between leaders who promote global development like Modi and those who pursue isolationist policies. We live in land of Gandhi. I meant Mahatma Gandhi. The critics of pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism must consider visiting North Korea to grasp the essence of unity. Only then they can truly understand the harmonious composition of diversity that Bharat lives and breathes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, participants. I would now like to call contestant F3. Jury members, kindly note F3.
A very good morning to our gathering. Today, I, Group President, stand before you to speak for the topic pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism, a hindrance to integrated development. Dr. Ambedkar held that the city should leave the policy of the state and other socio-economic matters to the intellect of the people, including the word secular would make India undemocratic. However, the opponents, the word secular seems to trend every now and then in India. And not very surprisingly, this secular spirit usually comes to be seen when it's about the welfare of the minority and never about the integrated development of the nation. Last I checked, secularism meant equal treatment to all and equal distance from every religion and democracy. However, it now seems that secularism has become an umbrella term for minority appeasement and distancing from majority beliefs or integrated development. Conflicts between religions, religious chauvinists, and ethnicities go back over 2,000 years. But today, our new measles, a contagious birth and the novel coronavirus has infected people in many parts of the world. But it is more virulent in India. Colony is very strong, acting as a hindrance to the integrated development of the nation. Most of those in India claiming to be secular are actually anti-majority. In order to be seen as politically right and a liberal approach, these pseudo-secularists have been putting down their heritage in the name of religious chauvinism and never dreaming about an integrated developed nation. The Honorable Gathering, you have been in the same government using secularism as a political trick to privilege exchange for votes. It is the discovery of India. Nehru mentioned his unease with dharma. His cultural unease with the majority made the liberals vote to restore the governance, forcing the future economic growth. My rebuttals for my friends, kindly note that they are selective in their actions and practices. These pseudo-secularists wish to have the downtrodden, which was indeed noble. But constantly they look down upon the religious beliefs, wanted them to embrace the leftist ideology, but on a condition that they abandon their faith, that is, stop worshipping their village deities. Stop worshipping their village deities. They are never concerned about the integrated development of the nation. Their ideology and goals, and they stand in an orthodox, systematic, and extremely egocentric lines of ideology. You might contradict that if the countries with wealth in the economy, then they are not pursued as secularists and it is chauvinists. Well, to clarify, the core reason why India's economy grew faster to meet the goal of the developed nation status by 2047 is the absence of pseudo-secularists and chauvinist type of governance. Friends, the more I learn about the Indian secularism, the more it became clear that it is boundless moralism and this dishonesty of the India's so-called pseudo-secularists. They merely stonewall inconvenient information or drown out any serious debates in screams and swear words. At last, it is rightly said by the Canadian journalist, that India is the only largest civilization, a country where you are taught to hate your religion and be lured by the invaders who came to destroy it. And this absurdity is called secularism. Thank you.
Indeed expecting. Now I would like to call on the stage A3, contestant number 3 speaking against the motion. Jury members kindly note A3.
Censorship is to art as lynching is to justice. Good morning to the first ever gathering. I candidate stand pleaded before you all to contemplate against the motion set for the meeting allegations. Secularism is a term which defines that the state shall treat all the religions equally, provide requisite buttresses to spurn even the unequals to profess their religion. Simultaneously, the state shall have no religion of its own and enough safeguards have to be construed to render arbitrary interventions. Basically, it's a doctrine enshrined in the Constitution to goad the state to make necessary arrangements to achieve internal and intra-religious equality. Now coming to pseudo-secularism, which means that under the guise of being secular, a person actually advocates for the interest of a particular religious group. The Constitution clearly bestows the onus upon the state to be secular and not on any non-state entity or any individual for that matter. The Law Commission has noted that Article 19 gives the right to a person to state his views, his opinions and his convictions. My worthy opponents challenge this so-called pseudo-secular in the court of law, and your imputations will not survive the test of law. Article 25 of the Constitution clearly gives the right to a person to propagate in a religion. And my worthy opponents, rather than infliction upon a person to be secular, is actually contravening the Constitution and integrated development. Now coming to religious chauvinism, which means that fanatical devotion and an overzealous approach towards a particular religion. My worthy opponents, if a person is truly committed to the religion and its tenets, then that person would never encroach into the rights of any other religion. It is a very protest approach to conceive that a truly religious person would be against the religious rights of any other group. And the most inherent fallacy the contentions of my worthy opponents have is the mere generalization of such an atypical aspect of life and a ubiquitous approach to the assorted beliefs. Take UAE for example, while Islam being the state religion, still 24% of its population is non-Muslim. It is ranked 17th in HDI, and take Qatar for example, while Islam being the state religion, still 35% of the population is non-Muslim. Also, it is ranked very high in HDI. It has a per capita income of $82,000. My worthy opponents, these evidences strengthen the claim that even if a society as a whole pursues or endeavors to pursue a particular religion, that does not mean that other religious groups be neglected. Rebuttal. Now taking into consideration the significance of the so-called pseudo-seculars in a heterogeneous society like ours, even those views are welcome, and even if arbitrary, the significance of that is paltry. Considering the broader ambit, my worthy opponents, the views, the convictions of a relatively smaller group versus a larger entity, which is the state in this case, does not matter. It is the state which has to be secular. It is the state which seeks integrated development. It is the state which represents the will of the people, which clearly goes for integrated development and not any sectarian society. Now, taking into my worthy opponents, we have to consider the distinctions between what is religious animosity, what is religious chauvinism, and what is religious dominance, without which the whole essence of this debate will be distorted. I would like to apply the questions with the quote of Mahatma Gandhi. If I were a dictator, religion and state would be separate. I swear by my religion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, contestant. Calling upon the stage, speaker from proposition, contestant number F4. I request jury members to note that it is contestant number F4, contestant number F4.
The suddenness of development with the consistency of religion is the fact that makes us what we are. The integrated development comes hand in hand with the power that a mind attains, and the power of a mind is built with the beliefs we display. But what if I say your faith is caged in the show of somebody else's beliefs? Shamanism, we say. A very good morning to all this gathering. I, contestant number F4, stand in favor of the motion. Seeking development and seeking freedom is a right, but justifying chauvinism and pseudo-secularism, in which a particular person feels superior to his own religion and becomes intolerant and prejudiced towards others, I wonder. The tragic and the destructive history of Malabar violence 1920-21, Gujarat communal rights 1969, the Godra Khan 2002, Bhagalpur violence 1989, Delhi riots 2020, New Haryana riots 2023, and our very own freedom fight echo that a secular and a liberal nation is needed for integrated development. And I want to remind you, my opposition, that all these instances are the result of religious imposition. Well now, religious dominance lies in the religion itself, as Afghanistan has two branches. Pashtun and Hazara are the very same religion. Muslims are divided in Shias and Sunni, Christians and Protestants and Catholics, and Hindus in number. Each one has a branch superior to another, making their own laws and hindering their own development. As per the report of Al Jazeera, Wahidullah Hussein stated, and I quote, there will not be any democratic system because it does not have any base in our country. Because it is clear, it is Sharia law, and that's it. Pakistan, a home to many, but the majority openly believes in religious nationalism and consider it the only way to unify its people, which results into mass killing, torture, suppression, and either conversion or banishment of minorities. Integrated development comes hand in hand, and pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism does not destroy one side, it is in holistic destruction, and my opposition advocating this? Strange. Now let me share a Greek religious belief with you. The earth was populated only by males who used to live in a perfect peace and harmony before angry gods, and as a part of his punishment, he created women. The first woman, Pandora, was considered a seductive gift. This is how male chauvinism leads to religious chauvinism. Myanmar, where the women of their very own nation feel unsafe. And have you ever heard of countries like Sierra Leone, Cameroon, Gabon, Somalia? You know? Well, how about you? Because these are the least developed countries by the rate of literacy, by the rate of illiteracy, inequality and violence is the highest. Then to whom we are asking for development? Jail? Because human beings are eating a little too much these days. Lend me your ears, my worthy opponents. Nothing comes free, and the policies of secularism came into force after bloodshed and life-threatening experiences. Secularism is the strongest weapon to advocate democracy, integrated development, and human rights. And to rebut my opposition, if our human mind had been secular, the holy motherland of India would not be divided on the basis of religion. The Crusades, the many years of persecution of Jews, the execution of Christians in the 17th century Japan, the Mongol explosion in Illinois and Missouri in the 1840s, the massacre of Muslims in Kosovo would not have taken place. Standing here today, religion. Imagine a world where all the countries decide to have a single state religion and chose to persecute any other community who seeks shelter. Imagine a world where boundaries are set and opportunities are based not on your territory or your potential, but based on your faith. Where on one hand we strive for development, on other we forget that development is not just digitalization or buildings. It is based on our principle and morals like equality, freedom and inclusivity. And where my opposition did not agree till now, then try mixing your blood with anybody here and see if you can find which job is yours. With that, I rest my case. Thank you.
Calling for the speaker from opposition, contestant number A4. Requesting jury members to note that it is contestant number A4, contestant number A4.
Religion is the driver of humanity, empathy, introspection, optimism, happiness, and soul searching. Greetings to our gathering. I am contestant number 4, standing in front of you to speak against the agenda. But before we begin, I want to ask my worthy opposition, can you name one a single country which is secular in its true sense? The answer is no. Whichever has the persona of secularism, they are just constitutionally secular, but do not practice secularism whether it's India, France, Canada, America, or any country. My opposition got a long list and rest because of religious chauvinism. I want them to recollect the examples of UAE, Indonesia, Saudi Arabia, Bhutan. They all follow specific religion and they are developed. Dubai, the most developed emirate of UAE, relatively crime-free, educated, extremely rich, city of skyscrapers, ports, beaches, gold and rich business pursuits. UAE ranks high in World Happiness Report, whereas the economy of Qatar, one of the highest in world's GDP based on per capita income, ranks top 10 in the list of richest country, one of the largest exporter of natural gas. Citizens have a high standard of living. Although its traditional and religious, citizens find security and a dignified livelihood. Now I hope my opposition thinks differently after this, not blaming religion as a hindrance. Indonesia consists of thousands of distinct native, ethnic and linguistic groups, culturally diverse, religiously pluralism of its Muslim majority, still its economy 16th largest by nominal GDP. It has vast areas of wilderness with second highest levels of biodiversity after Brazil. But what would my opponents call it? A hindrance. Let's get back to our very own nation, India. It would be the best example to discuss this debate, isn't it? Religious nationalism, pseudo-secularism and chauvinism all are bound together. Constitutionally it is secular, but NCERT syllabus at Ramayana and Mahabharata as a textbook for Hindi language. Why not Al Bible and Al Quran? Is it not open promotion of one religion? And my opposition talking about this secularism. What an idea. A Hindu celebrity is within mosque before a release of movie. Just for show off, a Muslim actor every year plans to release a movie on the occasion of Eid. Pseudo-secularism. Still the nation is idle heights according to NSS survey. Hindu temples economy is $40 billion or 2.3% of GDP. Religious travels alone bring 4.7 lakh crores reducing employment. The list of many achievements from Atal to G20 projects are different data, with its religion making it the 5th largest economy in the world, making the safest country for refugees, making it the land of entrepreneurs and startups. Talking about the land of South India, highly educated, techno-savvy, hub of IT industry, yet culturally and religiously bound. Is it not religious chauvinism? Still producing its best essence to the society like APJ Abdul Kalam, Narayan Murthy, Sarojini Naidu, Sundar Pichai, and the list goes on and on. India has achieved a long-awaited push from Ram Mandir to Article 370 application under the supervision of religiously biased government, which is secular government could not achieve in last 60 years. As per the report of National Crime Bureau, the country crime rate has been reduced to 7.6%. UP has been changed from state of crime to state of right. This fear is indeed leading people to make them follow the instructions. You don't even wear a helmet without fear. Too much liberalization made young generation forget their roots, custom, culture, obedience and respect for elders, but religious fear compels person to follow the right path. And they not just say that each and every faith has fallen the victim of false belief that religion and development are paradoxical in nature, which is absolutely incorrect. If everything would be so easy, then the flute player Lord Shri Krishna would never educate Mahabharata. With this, I raise my case. Thank you.
Thank you so much, participant. I would now like to call F5. Jury members kindly note contestant number F5.
If my esteemed opponents expect me to defend the individuals who commit heinous acts of violence in the name of our great laws or religious doctrine, then let me make one thing abundantly clear. That burden of proof does not rest upon this side of house. We cannot and will not excuse brutality under the guise of faith. It is incumbent upon us to uphold principles of justice, equality, and human dignity, irrespective of cultural or religious pretense. Respected judges, I rise to address a matter of profound moral gravity in our pursuit of progress and harmony. We must confront the twin threats, pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism. I insist we must confront these with vigilance and persistent determination. Pseudo-secularists crossed the limits when they didn't stand firm against the polarizing threats, like those seen at Shahin Bagh. They allowed the spread of falsehoods that certain persecuted communities, Hindus, Buddhists, Sikhs, and Christians from Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh would pose a risk to Indian secularism. On the contrary, they should have questioned the illegal infiltrators, as India is not for those who have unlawfully entered the country over the years, robbing the Indians of their land, security, and ethnic identity. But why should persecuted communities, Hindus, Buddhists, Sikhs, and Christians be allowed if Muslims are not? The answer lies in the reality of persecution. Can anyone honestly claim that Muslims face persecution in Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, just like how the minorities in these countries do face? Dominance of one religious group cannot, I repeat, cannot prevent religious celebrations of others, says Madras High Court after local Muslims object to Hindu procession. True secularism in India is at risk as Nupur Sharma is suspended, UCC is shelved, state controls temples, Kashmir's Hindus are dumped, arbitrary 1991 Places of Worship Act is on books, and present government claims what open and inclusive Iran and other things. My dear audience, religious chauvinism corrupts the sense of reality and that of morality. These two corruptions combine to peril society and to cause terrible suffering rather than paving a way for integrated development and harmony. The impact of religious chauvinism on social, economic, and infrastructural development is so severe that hopes of progress in these areas are minimal or non-existent. It stresses the profound disruption and destabilization caused by such groups, highlighting urgent need for addressing the root cause extremism. The Zoroastrian community, once flourishing in ancient Persia, faced relentless persecution. Jainism, an ancient and peaceful Indian religion, has faced periodic attacks throughout history. In some instances, Jain temples were desecrated and followers were targeted for their non-violent principles. Sikhs, known for their distinctive appearance and devotion, have dealt with persecution. So,
Can we clearly afford to claim that pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism lead to integrated development? I believe not. True development can only be achieved when we embrace genuine secularism and respect for all religions. When we promote dialogue over division, understanding over intolerance. So let's cut to the diplomatic details and confront this harsh truth head on. Not a single nation can boast that they have been immune to the poison of pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism. From east to west, north to south, every corner of this globe has struggled with the deceptive spirit of intolerance and discrimination. They have all prayed bravely in upholding the rights of individuals, always. It's an indictment of our collective inability to safeguard the most fundamental human rights. Please drop the pretense and confront this ugly reality with the urgency it deserves. Thank you.
Thank you so much, contestant. I would now like to call contestant number A5 on the stage. Jury members, kindly note contestant number A5.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine you're getting a job interview for your dream job. You're well-dressed and confident. But as soon as you enter the room, all your hopes come crashing down. As you come to know that the interview is turned out to the people who have always had negative, preconceived notions against you all their lives. You feel that your values and goodness do not matter to them because they have a veil of prejudice on their eyes, harboring the reality from ignorance. One such misinterpreted reality is of pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism to which most of my counterparts here are absolutely blind. It's surprising to see how a group of intellectual people sitting here are questioning the future viability of a country which has flourished since the ancient times where a particular religion has always been dominant. The early 20th century friends of Charlotte Durkheim believed that economic development came way before religious changes and conflicts. However, today, we associate these things together. People saw religion as merely a way to fulfill society's practical functions such as education and welfare. But when prosperous societies started to meet these functions all by themselves, religion had then become secondary. Let's dive further into the history, my friends. Remember the Roman Empire? It allowed a variety of religions to coexist understood. However, Roman polytheism was considered a state religion. Was this not a form of pseudo-secularism where the state claimed to be secular, however favored certain religious practices? Yet back then, the economy flourished, urban centers developed, agriculture production skyrocketed, trade expanded, and the people were prosperous, my friends. The Indian Constitution, despite of not having terms such as secularism and secular, at the time of its inception, still guaranteed equal rights and opportunities for people of all religions and faith. So, here's the catch, my friends. Secular countries can become developed only when they have recognized a greater need and respect for the individual rights of their citizens. Secularism is just a utopian concept. It actually doesn't work well in the real world. These secularists build castles in thin air in the name of equal rights, opportunities, and respect for all religions. However, countries like Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and UAE, despite being religious chauvinists, are well developed and have landed in the group of top 30 happiest countries in the world, wherein Kuwait is on the 13th position, being ranked above the United States of America. Now let me change it back to the word today. Pseudo-secularism. When a country moves more to the path of pseudo-secularism, it doesn't impose one religion over the other. It shows that they are equal, while it takes the necessary action for the greater good, which sometimes involves favoring certain groups. Whereas, on the other hand, the very idea of secularism is flawed because never can it be that people of all religions and faith would agree over their personal rights and life being equated. There exists an imbalance, a gap between the necessities of people of different religions, which when tried to eradicate through measures like UCC, leads to protest, riots, and further prejudice, leading to religious identities, being stripping away from them. Take the case of Turkey. In 1920s, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk removed Islam as the official religion of Turkey in order to establish secularism. However, the laws are based on Islamic principles, which on the forefront disguise the chauvinism of Islam as modernization. People saw this as a step towards pseudo-secularism, which brought modernization in day-to-day life from cultural to political and educational reforms. So ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to look beyond the veils of influence imposed upon you and realize that pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism are the dividing forces. They, on the contrary, are driving forces which work practically uniting a society, a nation, rather than the bookish theories of secularism which are undertaken. Thank you.
Thank you so much, participant. Calling upon the stage speaker from proposition, contestant number F6. I request jury members to note that contestant number F6.
They say that a diamond shines under pressure, but what if we keep that diamond under pressure forever? That we never take it out of the burden past the wood. Ultimately, we take away its shine, and all that we're left with is its shatter, and in it, find the precious identity. Same is in me today. My extended greetings to this house at large. I am Mr. Shah from Lucky International School, and today I'll be sharing my favorite views to the notion pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism are a hindrance to negative development. To people who really think and believe that pseudo-secularism is not a bother to development, to them I say, when were you last suppressed? When were you last taken as someone whose thoughts and beliefs do not matter? When were you last kept on the edge of the sword that would give life to everyone else, but only cuts to your neck? Most of us sitting here today come from backgrounds that never saw this, but those who didn't realize the fact that when their concerns sidelined or ignored based on religion, then survival is the topmost priority. Development, ladies and gentlemen, is not even a question. This one religion flavored, so-called development that is happening in our very nation stands as a total hindrance to the total development altogether. If a country, let's say India, if Hindus try to make India Hindustan, then they themselves stand as a barrier to the progress. As now the job opportunities, taxes, or the economic flow which is not possible due to the suppression of the minorities, and not just that. India's pride, to which they say, that are carrying them to newer and higher skies, all done while sitting on this aircraft called democracy. And even the opposition would agree with me here. Talk about the economic reforms of 1991, talk about India's IT sector, even space exploration programs for that matter. All done thanks to India's democracy. Pseudo-secularism is ready to clutch even these winds down. Political parties, representatives, keeping their religion in mind. And religious-based voting does not result in the development of the country, but result in the development of the dominance of a particular religious group. Today, minorities are on their toes when it comes to getting reservations on the economic development of the country. But when these groups are called minorities in the religious sector, then it is called hurting their sentiment. Is this how development will prevail in India? How can you even think of proving this is not relevant to development? And if you think I'm talking big, listen to these constitutional words which offer a staggering 27% reservation to the socially and educationally backward classes. Mind you, socially and educationally backward classes and not certain religious groups. Now you see how development is being hindered, and this was made as a solution by our government. And talking about religion and development, how do I give the recent Manipur violence out of my words? When there was a violence outbreak on a number of women and children, all done on religious fights due to the implementation of religious bias laws by the government there. Tap my voice, government. People of India still believe that development is possible when they differ between people not based on their skill level, but based on their religion and background. If not, then tell me why is UCC being brought forth by the PM with such persuasion? If not, then tell me why the cadet suspended from ANU, emphasis on the word suspended, to which it claims is the which is the hardest form of punishment given to any cadet. All of this done because the boy chanted a religious slogan. And obviously it was not Hindu, because if it were, it would have been trending on social media and not on news channels. If not, tell me why was the heading of a Muslim girl required just to open the eyes of this ignorant government to open the hijab ban in educational institutions? Development is not just the building of tall structures in the country, it's also the acceptance and value given to the sentiments of the people of the country. And development, social development cannot be separated from integrated development whatsoever. And trust me when I say it is not only the government that have got their hands dirty in it. Even the constitution with its Article 25, which gives right to freedom of religion, but caps Buddhism, Sikhism and Jainism all under Hinduism. Again, it's changing identity. And Article 16, which takes a step further into the void and gives right to freedom of equality in public employment, but bars the scheduled caste reservations to be exercised by the Dalits of any other religion except Hindu, Sikhs and Buddhists. If this isn't a hindrance to development, I'm sorry, I don't know what. I would like to conclude by saying that if people want to soar up high onto the liberation of their country, then they need to lose the head shackles of pseudo-secularism and religious trauma. And in a world where we've given so much importance to resources, why waste the most precious like for humans? Thank you.
Thank you so much, participant. Calling upon the stage speaker from against the motion, contestant number A6. Request jury members to note that it is contestant number A6.
Esteemed judges, my dear worthy opponents, and everyone else, good morning. Today, we stand at the crossroads of a crucial debate that delves into the very fabric of the modern society. Pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism, a hindrance to integrated development. I stand here today to throw some light on the positive impact of pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism on the growth and development of a nation. Pseudo-secularism, the guise of secularism while favoring one particular religious interest. Religious chauvinism, the assumption of a particular religious superiority over others, often stir controversy and conflicts. However, beneath the surface, these phenomena can yield unexpected benefits to a country. While they may seem divisive, they hold the power to unite people under one common identity, instill moral values, and preserve our cultural heritage. Firstly, let's start with legacy, a word steeped in the echoes of time and civilization that draws strength from religious chauvinism. Let's look at the examples of ancient Greek, Indian, and Italian civilizations, each a testament to the triumph of culture over the tyranny of foreign powers. Amidst the annals of history, it was not secularism but religious chauvinism that stood as the bulwark against cultural erosion. Let's take a look at the example of our own nation. Alauddin Khilji's desertion of the Nalanda library is a stark reminder. Had it not been for their unwavering devotions, the civilization would have faded into absolute oblivion. Should we then forsake the guardians of our very own nature, of our very own culture, for the sake of an illusory secular idol? Secondly, let's talk about Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia imposes law and order with a firm hand, often drawing strength from their religious beliefs. Whereas in India, despite being liberal, being secular, it still faces challenges in maintaining law and order.
This raises the question of whether secularism has been able to provide moral guidance needed for societal harmony or not. Shouldn't we move back to our religious deeds, our religious principles to fight the chaos in the world? The idea of holding on to values, even in the face of threats, find comforts in religion. Let's look at the examples of the land of China, Korea, and Japan, where Buddhism teaches humanity and kindness. Would we take on this chauvinism when it is the main essence of them being humans, following their culture, following their history? Should we let immigration change who we are for the sake of political correctness? Many of my worthy opponents here have claimed that pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism divide people and communities. Well, it's a matter of perspective, sir, and I beg to differ. Religious chauvinism and pseudo-secularism can be an unexpected benefit to a country and to the world as a whole. Let's look at the example of our own nation, India, who has spreaded the gospels of yoga and vegetarianism around the corners of the globe. Isn't this example that positive religious good values can have a positive impact on the world? In conclusion, let us not be swayed by the clamor of some narratives, the silent song leading us astray. Let us embrace pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism, for not as a hindrance, but as a catalyst for integrated development. For in the tapestry of civilization, it is a thread of tradition that lends strength to the fabric of progress. Thank you.
Thank you so much, participant. I would now like to call debater number F7. Jury members kindly note debater number F7.
Indian courts, while purporting to be secular, recognize Muslim Sharia law that oppresses women blatantly in the community. Saffron revolution in Myanmar forced hundreds of Rohingyas to flee from the country. Israel PM Benjamin Netanyahu's fascist tendencies and adoption to strident Zionism have led to extremism in the region and more eventually. Do we still doubt that pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism are not the reasons for the unrest in the world? Good morning, honorable educated panel, honorable teachers, fellow contenders, and my dear friends. Today, I stand before you to express my views in the favor of the motion. Pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism are a hindrance to the integrated development. Now, secularism ideally signifies a system of governance that has nothing to do with any religion. But some brainwashed minds are so instilled that they instill a feeling of superiority for one religion to such an extent that it creates a prejudice and divides towards the others. Pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism are both detrimental to the development of the society, as they foster division, hinder progress, and perpetuate discrimination. In India, it manifests in its policies that provides exemptions and privileges to certain religious communities while neglecting the others. For example, in temples, the taxes are fully siphoned, but minorities, the places of worship are left unfettered. They are not even subject to taxes. Then, does this not create communal divide? Does this not hinder social cohesion? Pseudo-secularism undermines the principles of fairness and equality by favoring one religion and neglecting the others, which creates resentment and unrest. Saudi Arabia has faced criticism for its strict enforcement of Wahhabi culture and suppression of other practices within its borders. Buddhist nationalists in Myanmar have created discriminatory policies and violence against Rohingyas, which has led to a humanitarian crisis. My dear friends, I wonder, how can someone support something that impedes the economic development? Now, let's take an example from the history. Today, every child grows up learning that the earth moves around the sun, right? But sadly, an Italian astronomer, Galileo Galilei, was forced to abandon his theories of the heliocentric model by the Catholic Church, classifying it This went on for 17 years and Galileo even had to admit in court that he went too far with his idea. Imagine scientific truth being suppressed for years. And why? Religious chauvinism? My worthy opponents may argue and say that these practices are important to preserve the legacies of the cultures. But I firmly believe that pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism not only creates a communal disharmony, but also corrupts the places of worship. In medieval times, the church charged money for people to be absolved of sins. They called it the indulgence. The poor could not get a pass for committing sins, while the rich could do a payment of money and get a pass for committing sins. So, ladies and gentlemen, pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism fuel intolerance and conflict, undermine social cohesion and trust, deter foreign investment in tourism, and creates a and hinders the social societal development by perpetuating discrimination, division, and instability. At last, I would like to sign off with the words: the people who enjoy waving flags don't deserve to have one. Thank you.
Thank you so much, participant. I would now like to call contestant number A7. Jury members kindly vote. Contestant number A7.
My greetings to the house. Let me tell you a story. Once, a traveler lost his way in the woods. Just when he thought that he would never get out, he saw another man. "You are God sent. I'm glad to see you here." The other man kept quiet for a second, then chuckled and said, "I'm equally relieved to see you, as I'm lost as well. Strangely though, after seeing you, I do not feel like I'm lost anymore." Now, this isn't funny, but when two people are lost, they feel less lost. And when a group is lost, they do not consider themselves to be lost at all. As human beings, we are all lost in our forests with our bands of people and perspectives. So, whether it is a pseudo-secularist or religious chauvinist, both cultivate religious sentiments. Pseudo-secularism in its folds holds a bias that is covered and shaped, and religious chauvinism exhibits the bias. So the question is, do these religious sentiments hinder integrated development? Certainly not, dear opponents. Religion is more, much more than a statement of belief. It refers to ways of living, to political theories of justice, to modes of voluntary association, and to collective identities. Religion is a live, throbbing, palpable force within 80% of the world population. Our most intimate of human relationships are often molded by religious rules, rituals, and prohibition. It is a fallacy to separate religious ideas from integrated development. Friends, do not underestimate the power of religious ideologies in motivating ways of life, in mobilizing progress, and in making a call to action. Even Gandhi said, I can say without the slightest hesitation that those who say that religion has to do nothing with politics do not know what religion means. And Gandhi saw the big picture. Religious thoughts, state policies, and economic activities are closely linked. In India, workers and traders' guilds are often tied by family lines. And in family business, labor and top management come from the same caste. The Tatas are yet to have a non-partisan, but the company's development benefits all communities. In India, family businesses account for 79% of the national GDP annually. So whether it's an Angrez or Punjabi, in traditional societies like ours, there's clan-based work, but this work provides services to the society. Dear opponents, all-round development means both inner progress of the society and outer progress by contribution to social stability and justice. Ethnic groups are the bearers of cultural knowledge and practices, including philosophy, literature, music, art, food, language. Can we dismember ourselves from our religious identities? Yato dharmas tata Motto, Supreme Court. The line occurs 14 times in the Mahabharata. Seva Smartam Dharma. Motto, Indian Army. Comes from the 11th chapter of the Gita. Shanno Varna. Prayers of the Vedas to invoke the Lord of Ocean. Motto, Indian Navy. Satyame Jayate. Our motto from the dark of ocean. Can we call these institutions denominational? Ask your conscience. Friends, we cannot belie our cultural roots. Dear opponents, to call forms of religion as cause of conflict is not the most helpful approach. Religion is not a general cause of violence. Much constructive it would be to look at the circumstances in which violence occurred. Dear opponents, if you talk of true secularism, then the irony is that no state can be purely secular. The UK maintains 26 seats in the House of Lords for the senior clergymen in the Church of England. Canada and its charter maintains the supremacy of God. Italy still recognizes a special status for the Catholic Church, and even in American politics, religious groups exercise influence. Sadly, though, secularism has been heavily twisted in the Indian context. The drama of secularism in India is similar to a WWE bout, where everyone participates, everyone pretends, everyone claps, and everyone shuts their eyes to reality. I rest my case.
My, what an astonishing experience.
Absolutely. So now I would like to call F8, contestant number F8.
Vasudev Kutumbakam teaches us that the world is one family. However, pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism threatens this unity. Let us confront these obstacles together for integrated development. Good morning everyone, my name is Tejas Charan and I am from Mahavir Public School speaking for the topic. When religion and politics get mixed together, we get to have a situation of pseudo-secularism. It implies the pretense of being secular, but in reality, it favors one religion over the other. In the Bombay vs. Union of India judgment, the Supreme Court said that the neutrality of the state would be violated if religion is used for political purposes. Section 123 of the Representatives of the People Act says that you can't use religion for political purpose. But from the then divide and rule colonial policies, since the modeling reforms of 1909 to the current us versus them politics, pseudo-secularism continue to cast a shadow upon us, which takes us to our next topic of religious chauvinism. It is more related to communalism and leads to the belief of superiority of one's own religion and intolerance towards other religion. It can lead to communal violence and riots. According to the NCRB data from 2017 to 2021, more than 2,900 cases of communal riots have been registered in India. Then it can lead to interreligious domination, the post-Mundra riots of 2004, the anti-Sikh riots of 1986. Then it can lead to civil war and even division of the country, the Lebanese civil war, the Sri Lankan civil war, the second Sudanese civil war, and even our own US own partition of the country. The chauvinistic interpretation of religion can lead to the formation of global terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS. You know, the opposition will try to divert the topic by speaking many secular practices, but in reality, even they can't defend pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism. Then the opposition might ask, are you against religion? What about religious identity? I am neither against religion nor against any identity. I am here to undermine the religious extremist ideologies that are fanatical, dogmatic, exclusivist, and promote hatred towards other religions. Even figures like Dayanand Saraswati, Swami Vivekananda, and Raja Ram Mohan Roy advocating for similar thoughts. Then the opposition might ask, what about the social, psychological, economic, and political factors? These are very much important for integrated development. Then I would say that there is a direct relationship between pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism on one hand, and all these factors on another hand. In the economic sense, if we take, it can lead to less economic growth and no economic productivity. The Sri Lankan civil war costed around $200 billion, which is around twice of its GDP today, according to the India's former NSA book. Then, in the social and psychological sense, it can lead to social division and discrimination and religious right persecution. Social persecution, according to the Bangladesh population census, the population of Bangladesh minority was around 23% in 1951. Now that used to less than 10%. In the political sense, it can lead to divisive politics, a threat to secular democracy. Iran was a secular state before 1979. It had transited to a theocracy. Today, around 80% of the Iran citizens, according to a survey, want to live in a secular state. Then the opposition might say, all these things are good. These are inevitable. These can't be tolerated. I would say that there are solutions. First of all, promoting true secularism. We, the people of India, have solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Secularism leads to true holistic development, whereas pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism are like sand in the gears of progress. UCC must be implemented. We have social evils like polygamy and non-equal inheritance to women, which are against Section 494 of IPC and Article 15 of the Constitution. People must be made aware of their rights. We have rights such as Article 14, 15. We have a separate section of religious freedom rights from Article 25 to 28. Education is the most vital aspect. According to the role of education in countering religious extremism research paper, it shows that education can undermine these extremist ideologies. Swami Vivekananda said, a Hindu or a Buddhist do not become a Christian, nor a Christian to become a Hindu or a Buddhist, but each must assimilate the spirit of others. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, participant. I would now like to call contestant number AA on the stage. Jury members kindly note contestant number AA.
Ekam Sattva Vipra Bhakta Vadanti means the idea of one's immense diversity, emphasize humility and underline multiplicity of expression. Respected parallel judges, fellow debaters, and the esteemed audience. I am contestant number 8, delighted to have the opportunity to share my thoughts and insights on the topic under discussion. True national integration transcends the barriers of religion and ideology. It serves as a shield against the diverse forces of pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism, ensuring that our collective identity as a nation is founded on respect and unity. In India, the freedom of religion is guaranteed by Article 25 that ensures the freedom of conscience, the profession and propagation of religion. This means that all individuals have the right to practice and promote their religion freely. Here my opposition might say that how do you reconcile the concept of secularism with the existence of personal laws based on religious belief, which can often lead to inequality, particularly for women. So I would like to say that personal laws based on religious belief have historical significance and are deeply ingrained in India's social fabric. The secularism does not seek to abolish any religious practices, but rather ensures that they coexist harmoniously with principles of equality and justice. All minorities in our country are entitled to have equal rights and protection under secularism. They are recognized and respected for their unique identity, tradition, and contribution to the nation's diversity. Furthermore, I would like to advocate that the United Nations also aims to promote the tolerance and peaceful coexistence in the conflict-prone regions. These efforts facilitate understanding and cooperation among religious communities, reducing tension and contributing to stability. People in Canada and Switzerland from different linguistic cultures embraces diversity while promoting the national unity which coexists peacefully. US, often referred as a melting pot, composed of a people from various ethnicity, culture, and religious diversity. Thereby, I was in mind to advocate how appropriate a social, cultural, and religious diversity is. So every country's context is unique. There are universal principles of tolerance and coexistence that can be applied across the diverse societies. In the 42nd Amendment of the Constitution of India asserted that India is a secular nation. Secularism in practice has existed since ancient times. In societies like ancient India, secularism makes India as Atulya Bharat. The arrival of different religion in India from time to time has promoted its strength and integrity. My friends, in the Constitution of India, under Article 1 subclause 3, states that freedom to manifest one's religion or belief may be subject only to some limitations as prescribed by law. But they are necessary to protect public safety, order, health, or moral or fundamental rights and freedom of others. India continues to uphold the secular principles in its response to the COVID-19 pandemic by prioritizing public health and safety measures that apply uniformly to all citizens regardless of their religious beliefs. As being a citizen of India, I would like to share the schemes provided by our government without making any kind of discrimination against religion, caste, and communities. This was Bharat Abhiyan, the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, the Mid-Day Meal Scheme, or the Digital India, etc. These are just few examples which benefit the people regardless of their religious belief. Here my opposition might raise the question that how critics argue that marginalized religious communities may face some barriers to accessing these schemes. How do we address that issue? It's true, my friends, that marginalized communities, including religious minorities, may face some challenges to accessing these schemes due to various factors, that is socio-economic status or geographical location. As we can see, many countries complain that complaints in social welfare system that benefits diverse religious and cultural communities. These nations walk by a fine line, prioritizing inclusive development strategies aimed at reducing inequalities and promoting economic empowerment for all segments of society. It's the symphony of different voices, the canvas of varied colors, and the strength of our collective spirit, painting the beautiful mosaic of our shared existence. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, participant. Call for the final participant speaking in favor, contestant number F9 is requested to come upon the stage. Jury members, kindly note that it is contestant number F9.
Greetings to the August gathering. Let's talk about building a utopia. Excel. Hold on. Looks like a couple of rogue bulldozers are parked right in the middle of a construction site. One's labeled pseudo-secularism and the other screams religious chauvinism. Looks like integrated development might need a detour. Let's see how much damage are these guys doing to integrated development, and can we get our building project back on track? Are you ready? The link between religion and development has increasingly attracted scholarly attention. It's not just a phenomenon of an ivory tower, but corresponds closely to the reality. Before starting, I must applaud the learned opposition's Herculean effort wherein they are trying to justify something that is pseudo or chauvinistic in nature. Our nation has unfortunately witnessed some leaders who tried to butcher our integrated motherland into numerous pieces. They used pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism to make a circus of the national identity. Gentlemen, these people were the people responsible for converting one nation indivisible into one nation irreversibly divided. They thought, why to bother about unity when you can juggle religious sentiment like walls? They didn't need a strong and cohesive nation, but fragmented mosaic of offended egos. The opposition may try to justify secularism as a fulfillment, but remember, every glitter is not gold. Many pieces of research papers claim that religion increases generosity and cooperation, hence fostering integrated development. The supra-liberals opposition think that supporting a group that is 1/3 part of the world's population against oppression would be the highest pinnacle of enlightenment and humanity. The fallacy in the argument in context of our nation is that this group is being bullied, and by whom? By a population that is just 1/10 part of the world. No, it cannot happen. Now, again, many pieces of research paper claim that India is the best performer when it comes to religious equality, yet they adore our neighbors who are known for raising temples and sentiments. Now, the opposition will say that pseudo-secularism, Mr. Ambedkar had said that the word pseudo-secularism would be redundant to our society as our core essence is the fact that the world is our family. It was the 16th century, gentlemen, when our nation saw divide on the basis of religion, which was against our nation's dharma, where everybody's identity was Bharat, everybody living on the sacrosanct land was called a Hindu. But pseudo-secularism, it is self-destructive. Giving special privilege to one group will only make the matters worse, not better. It is like cutting the leg of a normal man so that the specially able doesn't feel marginalized. How can you guarantee religious equality and everything when the God has made our very five fingers equal? In conclusion, attempting to argue that pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism are threats to integrated development is like convincing a cat that is a dog. And a rebuttal. Many of my oppositions got the definition of religion and secularism wrong. I'd like to quote renowned jurist L.M. Singhvi, Lakshmimal Singhvi, एक राज्य मत निरपेक्ष हो सकता है ना कि धर्म निरपेक्ष. There seems to be confusion about the definition of religion, even with those who do not agree with the religious ideas. According to our ancient texts, religion is nothing but abiding by duties and righteousness. On the other hand, pseudo-secularism means that the state should be indifferent to something that is right. How can this even happen, gentlemen? With this, I rest my case. Thank you.
Call for the final participant speaking against the motion. Contestant number A9 is requested to come upon the stage. Jury members kindly note that this is contestant number A9.
Have you heard of the golden fallacy? During the 1980s, consultants suggested the luxury hotels to replace their doormen with revolving doors, cut costs and increase the profits. Guess what happened as a result? The profits died downwards because their suggestion was too quick in realizing the true potential of those doormen. Not just opening gates, but acting as a human connection between the sophistication inside and simplicity outside the hotel building. That was the era when these doormen were not a liability, but a major asset for the hotel's business. On that note, I, Janashama, would like to counter another such fallacy to react by standing against the motion that pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism are hindrance to integrated development. Before understanding the fallacy, let's understand the sole element of this debate: integrated development. Integrated development is the systemic phenomena dependent and driven by various intertwined and interplaying factors which include geography, history, culture, diversity, economic, education, infrastructure, inclusivity, and the list goes on, taking into consideration various economical, political, and ecological factors. And my worthy opponents seem keen in oversimplifying this complex phenomena of integrated development by making it directly proportional to secularism and religion. If so, then they should be the ones explaining the high private sector debt, income inequality, underemployment, or let's say large informal sector in Turkey, Mexico, or Cuba. They do carry a favorite title in some well-known secular countries. What happened to the development of these countries? By accepting the economic situation of India, it earned over 68 billion rupees from the export of jute goods. Not just that, but it is the largest exporter of rice. Companies such as Tata Consultancy, Tata Motors, Reliance, Maruti Suzuki, Green Revolution, White Revolution, Industrial Revolution, all of them played a significant role in our country's development, and none of this credit can be given to secularism or religion, because they might affect development, but it's not at all pretend to draw linear cause and effect relationships between them as contributors or victims, both the ways. Now let's delve deeper into the recurring fallacy of man. Fallacy lies in prefixing and suffixing the ethos and institutions of secularism and religion with subjective terms such as pseudo and chauvinism. Remember that these terms are invented and promoted With this lack of objectivity, you end up rejecting religious followership with the risk of not giving the largest amount of global charity. Yes, 40% of the global funding is religious funding, subsequently directed towards our development, human development, integrated development, such as Akshapatra program, world's largest such program run by a religious association, SCON. Another socio-economic example comes up. Approximately 75% of the world's festivals are religious in nature, contributing to the social connectedness, social inclusivity, cultural diversity, circular economic flows, spiritual tourism, heritage preservation, and the promotion of the overall economic development. Isn't that what everyone needs on this day? And according to my opponent's speeches, it seems that they will call a country or state pseudo-secular if they create various and different rules or laws for different and diverse cultures. For peace, I'm sure that you are not going against development, right? I would like to conclude my argument by requesting this House to refrain from being guided by subjective or perceptive terms added to secularism and religion. Let's not force a linear correlation of secularism or religion to the systemic nature of integrated development. Humbly put, please do not point out at a hijab on head or a tilak on forehead as scapegoats to be blamed for the system's failure to develop. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you so much, contestant. I would now like to call speaker number 1 who is speaking in favor of the motion to conclude the debate with their rebuttal. You will be given 1 minute time, speaker.
This was indeed a high air of competition where we noticed how people and their ideologies can differ even on the same topic. Topic for today's debate, which I would like to conclude, is how pseudo-secularism and religious chauvinism is a hindrance of integrated development in the country. Pseudo-secularism is when you claim and preach about the ideologies of secularism, but often ends up favoring one religion over other. And religious chauvinism is when you believe your religion as the sole truth, and how this is possible or is not causing towards the integrated development of a country. Thank you.
Thank you, contestant. An enriching and eye-opening confrontation between our party in view. It is now time to hear from our chief guests and distinguished jury members as we proceed towards the end of this event, which is why I request Sir Prakash Kavya to please come up on the stage and adorn this gathering with his words of wisdom. A huge round of applause for Sir.
Good morning to all. Madam was very right when she talked with me and politely and very wisely told me that you need to judge the participants. She was knowing my disabilities. In judging such brilliant students, the world class students who are taking part in the debate. I thank you, madam, for that, especially for not putting me in such an impressive position and in such a seat where I was bound to fail in judging the way. For my this, thank you to madam, all the mic supported me by giving a huge speech and I was of the view that I will first address this debaters. That on last occasion when I came, I was amazed with the performance which was given by the students in last debate. Since 2001, I am regularly attending the number of debates in schools, colleges, universities, and also national law universities. I can say certainly that the debates which were on even last occasion, that was in this debate, was the best in my life. These two were the best in my life. Madam again commented that see the confidence of his friends, and she was looking at me, most depressed person in the hall. So this is the position where you are going, where you are heading, and where you are taking to the country. Then again, first when I got the letter, then I came to know that what is the topic. I was shocked how this topic has been picked up by the management or by the organizer or by the principal, how this topic has been picked up. All prefixes can be attached to these two things, secularism and religion. All prefixes. You can attach all prefixes. Pseudo and Jainism are one of attached prefixes only. So many prefixes are there. What is the secularism? What is secularism? What is religion? You have picked up two things, secular and religion. You have picked up the social national integrated development you have picked up. But what about the one third aspect of the life, that is atheist, Gnostic? Have you heard about the atheist? You must have heard it because you are pretending you are studying nicely. Have you read Bhagat Singh? No. Normally, no. I can presume that you have not read the writings of the Bhagat Singh. He was an atheist. He was a brilliant atheist. Brilliant. I read and I request you to read the atheist point of view about religion. Because diversity and the different thoughts are essential part of reaching to a correct conclusion. It is absolutely essential. You can't have one view only and always praise for that view. Therefore, you must have the study of all. When debaters can stand against the principle of this, what topic has been chosen, they can stand up. Yes. This courage must be there so that the bigger we affirm that we are on right path and we can declare proudly we are on right path. Then we can also say that certain corrections are required. We can make corrections only when we hear the other side. We hear the points of the other side. We may found that some arguments are absurd. And when we go deep in that, we may come to the conclusion that our thought was absurd. To that extent we can reach that we were thinking that other view was absurd. And when we went in deep into that thought, we in fact were absurd. This happens in a country where there is a free speech, there is a free expression, there is a free will, there is a free mind, there is open for correction, and these is part of the judiciary. And you have seen several matters where several subjects in next also, where one court decided in favor of one and then other court decided in favor of second and then again reverse. This process continues, goes on. We are part and parcel of that system, and proudly I say that I am part and parcel of that system where we are correcting, correcting and again correcting. We are in that system. So therefore it is essential for such brilliant students to know. Now, before proceeding with your topic, I am not supposed to take a side who I am having the module of the forum. Still, I am not supporting to anybody, but as a voluntary disclosure, I must disclose myself first to you, and you will be compelled to put me in a particular bracket. If you will do that, then you will see that what is in our back of mind, what we are speaking is something different, but what we are believing is entirely different. We have to come out from that. We have to come out from what is my voluntary disclosure. Subject is religion, secularism connected to religion. Secularism is connected to religion, and in fact, if secularism, what has been taught to us, is accepted, then it respects all the religions. Then there is a pseudo-religion, pseudo-secularism, religious Taoism, and person who is addressing to you as a chief guest is having some ideology. You will believe that he is a slave of particular ideology. Therefore, I will disclose myself to myself. I am nation president of a religious sect of Jain community. Now you will put me where? Can I be a secular? If you will think that I am secular, your mind will compel you to think that this deed of this person will reflect that he may not be secular. This will be the position. Because every person has his personal beliefs, personal faith, personal religion. Apart from the state, we also religion that the state has its own purpose. The state has no purpose to interfere in the person's personal interest and personal beliefs and personal thought unless they are against the constitution. If I am doing my puja path in my home, in my religious place, at permitted place, what the state has to do? Nothing. But back of mind always in such a country where secularism is given preference, ignoring what is the difference between the secularism and what is the difference between atheist. Why the constitution is not taken that the state will be atheist? Why? Because atheist is anti-religion. Atheist is anti-religion doesn't mean that they will involve in the violence. None of the atheists was ever arrested for committing violence against the religion. But religious persons are arrested for the committing offense against the other religion. So see the minor difference between the persons who are having the faith in the religion but they are indulged in the violence. They are damaging others. They are causing harm to others. Believing that this is the religion. This is called the pseudo-religion, pseudo-secularism. Prompted them to go to that religious Taoism. This is the position. And these things are very inherent in the mind of everyone in India, particularly I don't know other countries. Normally we are saying it can happen all in India. Why? Because we don't know other countries. That is the reason. Therefore we will stand condemning our country. Only. So therefore I will advise you to please go deep in this subject at this age, and from this age you study the what is the religion, so as to know whether the others talking and preaching in this pseudo-religion is exaggerating the religion, is giving more than what religion has given. To that purpose, this is, if you are studying a subject, chemistry, are you going to become only chemist? No. You are studying biology, are you going to become only doctor? No. So your study at this age, in school age, where your mental level has increased manifold from our mental level. In that situation, none of the subject you can say this subject is untouchable for me. Politics, religion, social, economics, commerce, irrigation, sky, the spacecraft, none of the subject is untouchable for you. Because the subject which has been taken up is the most sensitive subject, most difficult subject. It can be interpreted in so many ways, creating hue and cry. It will create troubles for the management also. That why you prompted the students to look into this aspect of the matter with respect which has the direct interest for the politics. So आचार्य रजनीश ने क्या कहा? आचार्य रजनीश ने कहा राजनीति धर्मनिरपेक्ष हो गई और धर्म ने राजनीति से बदला लिया, धर्म राजनीति निरपेक्ष हो गई। अब इसमें ठीक अगर I think I take a few minutes more to tell a story to you. This is my thought of today only. A story I just try to develop it today. I am telling this story in Hindi. So, I gave the title of that story, Death of a Secular. एक घर में एक व्यक्ति की मृत्यु, एक secular person था, absolute secular. In true meaning, he was a secular. Therefore, he had faith in all the religions. He went deep into the religion and he studied the all religions as far as possible. और उन रिलीजन में उसने ऑरिजिनल टेक्स्ट पढ़ना शुरू किया, नो कमेंट्री, नो मिक्सिंग ऑफ द थॉट ऑफ एनी पर्सन, नो मिक्सिंग ऑफ थॉट ऑफ एनी गुरु. He studied the original principles of the God mentioned in the original religion text. चाहे भले वो प्राकृत भाषा हो, चाहे पाली भाषा हो, चाहे संस्कृत भाषा हो, चाहे जो फॉरेन कंट्री की भाषा हो, तो उनको स्टडी किया उसने. तो जिससे मिलता उसके धर्म के बारे में उसकी बहुत अच्छी बताता कि ये धर्म मेरा आपके बहुत अच्छा है, वो उसका डीप फॉलोअर हो जाता है. ऐसे करते करते सारे रिलीजियंस के जो ग्रुप गए उसके क्लोज हो गए और उसके क्लोज फॉलोअर्स तक बन गए. जब उनको पता चला कि साहब ये तो इस प्रकार का मेरे रिलीजन के क्यों फॉलोअर बने, क्योंकि ये मेरे रिलीजन के बारे में इतना अच्छा जानता है, इसलिए ये मेरे रिलीजन फेथ है इसका, इसलिए मेरे को इसके साथ चलना है, वो सारे उसके साथ हो गए. ये सारे के सारे रिलीजियस पर्सन आके उसके साथ हो गए. एक दिन बात में एक दूसरे की बात चली, एक रिलीजियस को सबके दूसरे रिलीजियस पर्सन के बारे में भी वो ऐसी बात करता है. उन दोनों रिलीजियस पर्सन में आपस में बात करी तो दोनों को पता चला यार ये तो हमें बेवकूफ बना है, ये तो इस धर्म की तारीफ करता है, इस धर्म की तारीफ कर रहा है, उस धर्म की भी तारीफ कर रहा है. ये क्या बात है? मेरा धर्म जो है वो सुपीरियर है, हाईएस्ट है. मैं ये मानता था, इसको ये पता है कि ये मेरा धर्म है वो सर्वोच्च है, इसके ऊपर कोई धर्म नहीं है. ये तो हम सबको बेवकूफ बना रहा है. कुछ हड़बड़ी हुई, कुछ झगड़ा होने लगा तो उन्होंने गए उसके बाद में सेक्युलर के बाद कि तुम ये क्या बात है, तुम ये क्या कंफ्यूजन पैदा कर रहे हो? जब मुझे विश्वास है कि मेरा धर्म अच्छा है, तुम्हें विश्वास है कि मेरा धर्म अच्छा है, तो दूसरा धर्म अच्छा कैसे हो सकता है? इसलिए यू हैव टू मेक द पोजीशन क्लियर इमीडिएटली. तो वो हड़बड़ा गया, ओके ये क्या बात हुई, ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है कि सब अच्छे नहीं हो सकते? इन सब की बात लेके चलता हूँ तो ऐसा लगता है कि सब अच्छे हो ही नहीं सकते, इनका बिलीफ ये है और ये रिलीजियस पर्सन है. वो हड़बड़ा के गए सीधा भगवान के पास. भगवान को जाके उसने कहा कि भाई ये आप इनको संतुष्ट करो, आप कितने भगवान हो, आप सर्वव्यापी हो, ओमनीपोटेंट, ओमनीप्रेजेंट, सब कुछ आप हो पाओगे, तो आप इन लोगों को संतुष्ट करिए, अपने भक्तों को. आप इनको बताइए कि करके ये जो है ये भी मैं हूँ, वो भी मैं हूँ, और वो भी मैं हूँ, और ये भी मैं हूँ, और ये भी मैं हूँ. जिस नाम से आप बोलते हो सब मैं हूँ और वो मैं हूँ. उसका भगवान कहो, चाहे ईश्वर कहो, चाहे अल्लाह कहो, खुद भी कहो, चाहे आप जो नाम लेना चाहो कहो, वो मैं हूँ. आपको बोलना पड़ेगा क्योंकि यू गॉट मी दिस, आई लर्न फ्रॉम ऑल रिलीजन. ये सब तो करता एक है, तो आप उनको संतुष्ट करें. भगवान ने कहा अरे बच्चे क्या समझता, बिल्कुल ही बेवकूफ रह गया फिर तुझे मालूम नहीं है मेरी एक बात नहीं सुनेगी, जो सुन लेगा वो मेरी एक बात नहीं मानेगा. वो क्या भगवान आपकी बात नहीं मानेगा? ये कैसे हो सकता है? आप ऐसा कैसे कर सकते हो? आपकी बात नहीं मानेगा, सारे आपकी बात मान के तो मेरे से लड़ रहे हैं. भगवान ने कहा मेरी बात नहीं सुनेंगे, न मानेंगे, न मुझे मानेंगे, तो उसने कहा आप आइए, आपको आना पड़ेगा, मैं आपका भक्त हूँ और भक्त का कहना मानना पड़ेगा आपको। भगवान ने कहा ठीक है, आप अरेंज करो, कब आना, कहाँ आना, और एक ही दिन में सब जगह आ जाओ, कैसे सब होगा, विश्व का इतना विस्तार हो गया है, तो आप कैसे यहाँ पे मैं आऊँगा, तो क्या करना बोलो। अगर आप चाहते हो मैं सब जगह एक साथ आऊँ, मैं सब जगह एक साथ कर लूँगा, मैं सब जगह एक साथ एक ही शब्दावली का मैं भी ले लूँगा, जिस भाषा में समझता उसी भाषा में उसको समझा दूंगा, मैं उनसे बात कर लूँगा, आप लोग क्या करेंगे। रिलीजियस पर्सन ने सेक्युलर ले जाके अपने सब पूरे विश्व में कहा तो भाई भगवान आना चाहते हैं और भगवान अपने बारे में खुद बताना चाहते हैं, भगवान अपने बारे में खुद बताना चाहते हैं। तो सभी जनों वर वेरी हैप्पी, एवरीबॉडी वाज हैप्पी। कुछ लोग तो इसमें भगवान के दर्शन होंगे, कुछ लोग भगवान को देखेंगे, उनसे ज्ञान लेंगे, कुछ ये हम धर्म को जान लेंगे, वो करके बड़ा हंगामा हो गया पूरे विश्व में। तो अल्टीमेटली ये तय हुआ भगवान एक के साथ जिस जिस के भगवान की मान्यता का रूप है उस रूप में उनके सामने आ जाए तो सुविधा हो जाएगी, ताकि इंट्रोडक्शन की जरूरत नहीं पड़े। कृष्ण के रूप में आता है, शिव जी के रूप में आता है, ईसा मसीह के नाम रूप में आता है, किस रूप में आए, जिस रूप में आ जाए, ताकि दे विल बी सेटिस्फाइड। तो ठीक है, भगवान ने कहा अब यहाँ तैयारी है लोग सब जगह विश्व में सारे के सारे रिलीजियस ग्रुप्स जो इसको बिलीव करते थे इस पर्सन पे, उसका कहना मानकर उन्होंने तैयारी शुरू कर दी। भगवान आ रहे हैं, इसकी व्यवस्था करनी है, कहाँ बैठा है, तो उनका टॉप ऑफ द हिल पे बैठाओ ताकि सब उसका पास है। तो उन्होंने उनकी जगह पे बैठाने का प्रबंध कर दिया। अब उसकी ये कमेटी बन गई सारी कि सर ये मैनेजमेंट कमेटी होगी, ये भोजन व्यवस्था करेगा, ये टेंट व्यवस्था करेगा, ये अभी यातायात व्यवस्था करेगा, सब प्रकार की व्यवस्था होने लग गई। वो सारी व्यवस्था हो गई। सभी व्यवस्थाएं होने के बाद में लोग आने शुरू हुए। भगवान के आने की डेट आने के पहले लंगर लग गए, धर्मशालाएं खुल गई, भोजनशालाएं खुल गई, सब जगह बीच बीच में रहने के लिए, स्टे करने के लिए जगह बन गई, पूजा पाठ के लिए मूर्ति लग गई। जो जिसको मानता है निरंकारी हिसाब से लग गया, जो आकार में मानता उसके हिसाब से सब जगह लग गए, हो गए। वहाँ पर बैठ के भजन कीर्तन और अपने अपने तरह के बात होने लगे कि भगवान आने वाले, तीन तारीख को भगवान आने वाले हैं। उस तक पहुँचने के लिए अब व्यवस्था करना का जुम्मा था। हर के बाद में उन्होंने सारे नियम बना दिए, इस प्रकार से ऐसे लाइन बनेगी, ये जाएंगे। उसमें अचानक कुछ वीआईपी आ गए, तो वीआईपी की लाइन अलग बन गई। अब वीआईपी की लाइन बनी, किसी को पता चला तो थोड़ा झगड़ा हुआ, अल्टीमेटली वीआईपी प्रवीण उनकी भी लाइन बन गई। ये प्रत्येक सारी व्यवस्था हो गई। भगवान आने वाले थे, भगवान आने वाले, भगवान आ गए और भगवान एक दिन आए थे। सब भगवान आगे बैठे तो वहाँ पे रेस्ट्रिक्शंस लगाने वालों ने इतने रेस्ट्रिक्शन लगा दिए कि भाई भगवान का अभी सोने का समय है, अभी उनका स्नान का समय है, अभी इनका भोजन का समय है, तो ये लिमिटेड अवर्स में व्यस्त हो। फिर उसमें बात नहीं हुआ कि भाई ऐसा है कि हम खुद नहीं क्या गए और हमने खुद से बात कर दी, आप क्या समझते हो। ऐसे करते करते युवा का सारी पब्लिक डिस्कनेक्ट हो गई। भगवान आ गए लेकिन कोई भी भगवान तक पहुंच नहीं सके। इसकी सूत्र व्यवस्था धर्म के धर्माधिकारियों ने कर दी कि भगवान तक नहीं पहुंच सको, क्योंकि भगवान तक अगर पहुंच गए तो हमारी दुकान हो जाएगी। हो सकता है उसमें से 90% वो लोग ऑनेस्टली ये कहते थे कि भगवान को डिस्टर्ब नहीं करे, आपका लेवल ऑफ नॉलेज नहीं है। मैं उनको कंडेम नहीं कर रहा हूँ, लेवल ऑफ नॉलेज नहीं है, आपको हम समझा देंगे, आपको हम समझा देंगे। ऐसे ही लोग 90% हो गए, 10% हो गए तो उनका लेवल हो गया। लेकिन क्वेश्चन ही आया कि तो भगवान के दिए जब भगवान ने उस दिन 15 दिन तक के उन्होंने देखा कि मेरे पास तो जो आने वाले वो फिक्स व्यक्ति है और जो आगे जो जा रहे हैं उनका क्या होगा मुझे पता नहीं, कितना वो समझे मुझे पता नहीं, उनका कैरेक्टर में क्या चेंजेस आए मुझे पता नहीं। उसके बाद तो उनको ये पता चला कि यानी, लेकिन उनका फेथ ये पक्का हो गया कि मेरे भगवान वास्तव में साथ साथ में मेरी इमेजिनेशन के अनुसार थे। ये काउंटर प्रोडक्टिव हो और वो विभिन्न इमेजेस चलती रही और आज अब वो अकेला सेक्युलर लड़ा जो भगवान को लेकर आया था जिसके सामने भगवान ने कहा था मैं डिफरेंट रूप लूंगा, डिफरेंट प्रकृति से आऊंगा, डिफरेंट भाषा बोलूंगा, वो सारा हुआ। आज वो सेक्युलर जिंदा नहीं है, वो सेक्युलर नहीं हो गया। और वो सारा बोलते भगवान भी अपनी जगह पर बैठे हैं, रिलीजियस पर्सन भी अपनी जगह पर बैठे हैं, रिलीजन क्या है ये बताने वाले भी अपनी जगह पर बैठे हैं, उनका प्रचार प्रसार भी चल रहा है। और उसका ये भी चल रहा है कि मेरा धर्म सर्वश्रेष्ठ है, ये भी चल रहा है, हमारे धर्म की ये खूबियाँ हैं वगैरह, ये चल रहे हैं। आज की व्यवस्था, आज आप स्टूडेंट लाइफ में हो, आज आपका पहला कर्तव्य है कि मूल धर्म क्या है ये, तब आप इस बारे में कुछ बात करने के योग्य बनेंगे कि मूल धर्म ये है और बाकी सभी क्रियाएं रिचुअल्स हैं। और हमने रिचुअल्स को इतना ऊंचा स्थान दे दिया तो धर्म से भी ऊंचा स्थान पा नहीं पा रहे। मैं इतना नहीं है, मैं आपको उदाहरण देकर बता सकता हूँ कि सर कौन से रिचुअल्स ऐसे हैं जो अधार्मिक हैं, जो धर्म का हनन कर रहे हैं, जिसमें से आपका दोनों टॉपिक, आपका सूडो सेक्युलरिज्म एंड रिलीजियस चार्मिज्म, ये दोनों उसी के टॉपिक हैं, उसी के। यहाँ पे इस तरफ अपोज करने के लिए आए, उन्होंने प्योर रिलीजन का सपोर्ट किया। अपोज टाइप को करना है या इस सब्जेक्ट के इस टॉपिक को अपोज करना है कि आप वापस उठा के देखिएगा आप अपने स्पीच को, आपने गलत को अपोज किया है और गलत को अपोज किया तो वो धर्म है, गलत को अपोज किया तो धर्म है। आपने एग्जैजरेटेड किसी बात को अपोज किया तो वो धर्म है। तो इसलिए आप दोनों का मत एक है लेकिन खड़े अगेंस्ट में। इन माइनर डिटेल्स को समझने की विद्वता आप लोगों में आ चुकी है, इसलिए मैंने थोड़ा सा आपका समय ज्यादा लिया है। आई एम सॉरी फॉर आई apology to the madam because she was not expecting me to talk so much because thank you very much for inviting me, giving this opportunity. Particularly, I am extremely thankful to the judges of this debate who they are performing a very toughest duty in their life. They are accustomed to, I know it, but for person like me, it is very difficult task today for the judges. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for enriching us with your words of wisdom. I will now only call Ms. Jagriti to come up on the stage to deliver her words alone this day.
Thank you, students. Such eloquence, such rhetorical questioning and arguments. Your arguments are still resonating in my mind. And I'm totally, what you say, floored, with your performance. So kudos to all the participants. A good note to the chief guest today, Justice Tania, Mayuri ma'am, the principal. She gave me a pleasant surprise that we were in school together. So it's been a long time that we are coming together. My very dear friend Rashri Ranavar is a co-judge with me. I would like to extend my thanks to Sardar Doon Public School for having invited me here, and especially to my former colleague and a very dear friend Aruna Sutarman. It's like your love still resonates with me every single day of my life, and we had wonderful times together in the past as teachers of English in a college. As Justice Tanya rightly said, the topic is very sensitive, very contemporary and very relevant because it is the young minds at your age who start thinking and develop ideologies. So debating is not new to our country. It begins with the Shastras. If you read Amartya Sen's argumentative Indian, the Shastras, the most famous being between Bandhan Mishra and Shankaracharya if you go through your past. And you had the rhetorics in ancient times as to how we argue. As far as religion is concerned, Marx said that religion is the opium of the masses. That is, we take refuge in religion because of our everyday existential dilemmas, which we are not able to resolve as human beings. That is why religion comes in handy. But like Justice Nadia very rightly said, and one of the participants also said, that religion is not dharma. Justice Nadia very truly rightly said just now that practicing certain beliefs and ritual systems, that is religion in what we call the modern sense. But we go back to our ancient text, it is dharate dharma, the Hindi translation what we see is, what is your righteous ethical duty, that is dharma. Your duty as teacher, as son, as daughter, as wife, as daughter-in-law, as citizen, as a politician, everything that boils down to dharma. And what I practice is my belief system in a particular God, a tradition. Like some students refer to Galileo, the heliocentric universe. Yeah, when I was in Rome, I visited Galileo's house, and he was under house arrest for 70 long years because he went against the Catholic Church. So this is how we have persecuted science and people in the name of religion. And I have this problem with the word pseudo in any use. Pseudo means hypocrisy. So if I'm pseudo-secular, I'm being a hypocrite. So I refer to some atheists. So yes, there are people who say God exists, but I don't believe in him. That is atheism. But Nietzsche says God is dead, we have killed God. This is nihilism. And an agnostic says there is no God at all, I doubt his existence. So in what category we as individuals or human beings fall is up to us. My belief system, I can be spiritual without being religious. That is, I don't worship, I don't go to a temple, but I am a good human being. And I'm quoting from the Nicomachean Ethics, which I was just reading the day before yesterday by Aristotle. He says, virtue is the highest human good. So if I'm virtuous, means I'm compassionate and I'm human. We are living in a dehumanized society, increasingly dehumanized society. So if I'm human enough to understand that what I believe in is different from what others may choose to believe in, it gives me tolerance. And that tolerance is actually what secular being secular means. I am a proud Sanatani. Sir said he is heading one of the organizations as a chain, right? But when it comes to talking about being good human beings, being virtuous human beings, then it is being truly secular. Does any religion teach you to be vicious, to follow the immoral, wrong path? Does any religion, for that matter, talk to you about this? No. It always talks about the conflict between the good and the evil, and it actually asks you, exhorts you to take the right path. That is being truly, truly secular. So I hope you know that you will take some of my words in a very good spirit. I was very, very happy with the arguments that were given here. For me, it was very, very, very difficult to judge. I have been judging debates for a very long time. And Rashi also must have felt the same. The arguments were, at your age, very lucid, very clear, and the confidence that you exhibited is mind-blowing, students. I'm really, really touched by your performance. Not a single speaker faltered or stuttered, and not a single speaker used a paper. See? So it's very difficult. So kudos to all the participants who participated in such a brilliant manner. It was a sterling, stellar performance. I'm taking so much with me today. And I wrote 4 lines for all of you, which I am in a habit of quoting to students. I happen to be a writer and a poetess and a little of shairi also I do. So one student, he said, ma'am, I am at crossroads in life. So I wrote for him. He's now a major in the army. So for him, say, इब्तिदाई मंजिल में तुझे राह की निस्बत नहीं. Ibtida is beginning. So when you are on a path to your destination, you don't need any paths. इब्तिदाई मंजिल में तुझे राह की निस्बत ज़रूरत. ताबे हुनर से जहाँ चलेगा राह वहीं बन जाएगी. If you have courage and if you have hunar, what you displayed today, you know, so much potential you are bringing it. So ताबे हुनर से जहाँ चलेगा राह वहीं बन जाएगी. अपनी परवाज़ के लिए तू हवाओं का मुंतज़िर नहीं. परवाज़ is उड़ान, soaring, not flight, soaring high in the sky. परवाज़ के लिए तू हवाओं का मुंतज़िर, इंतज़ार करने वाला नहीं. अपने हौसलों पर यकीन रख, मंजिल खुद तुझे मिल जाएगी, मंजिल खुद तुझे मिल जाएगी. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your motivating words. Now I'd like to call Rashid Rawat to enlighten us with an insightful and profound knowledge.
Good afternoon, everyone. And don't be afraid to see these two tables. I won't be speaking long. They just asked me for a formality because already Honorable Justice Tatia and Jagati ma'am has said everything. So there's nothing left for me to speak. To begin with, Honorable Justice Tatia, Professor Jagati Bhatta, Principal Madam, my fellow teachers, all the contestants and students, and but of course, Dr. Aruna Shathar. Thank you so much, ma'am, for inviting me and making me part of this second inter-school debate competition. Well, I can refrain myself from speaking anything on the topic, and I would congratulate Principal Madam and all the teachers involved for showing their courage and choosing such a timeless and timely topic. One of the participants said that how can you defend something which is pseudo and something which is, chauvinism? Very true. And that is why I feel all those participants who spoke against the motion needs a big round of applause. They took the risk and they spoke. Everybody, as the gentleman said, and Sir said, that the arguments were brilliant, the performance was brilliant. Yes, the graph of the participants forming, it's really going high every day, day by day. When we witness such debates, the participants are really working hard. With AI, the content has become easy. It is easy to get the content, but the delivery becomes very, very difficult. But here, everybody was really speaking with a lot of conviction, which is something which is required. I will not talk on the topic, but I will definitely talk on the debate, the importance of debate and the importance of organizing such events at the school level. It develops your analytical skills, which is very, very important. It sort of exposes you to a lot of other perspectives. It makes you give intelligent argument, more reasoned argument. In this particular debate, as Ma'am also pointed out, we heard about the medieval ages, the dark ages, to the Enlightenment age. So how much research you have done, how your teachers must have put, all your English teachers and all the teachers were involved in preparing these students. They must have put in a lot of effort to prepare the students to stand here with confidence and show the argument with a lot of conviction. So congratulations not only to the participants but also to the teachers who are involved or behind the curtains preparing the students for all this. And I would also like to congratulate the entire team who organized, who helped Madam, or with the guidance of Madam, have organized such an event. It needs lots and lots of efforts to structure all this and to come out with such brilliant presentations. So congratulations, ma'am. I just felt that when Sir was speaking and when Madam was giving her observations, there's actually nothing left for us to speak about the way the candidates have put on their views or opinions, because they were bad. Nobody used paper. They were students who, debate is all about the modulation in your voice, and most of them were perfect in the way they delivered. Yes, some of them lost their marks in the content, maybe, or in the figures. That was not up to that mark, but otherwise, as well as the presentation was concerned, it was too good. So I once again congratulate each and every one of you, irrespective of the fact who wins or who loses. That's irrelevant. Everybody who came here, who stood here, needs a big round of applause and congratulations. Thank you so much for making the participation possible. I would also like to congratulate them and your comparing team. They are brilliant. They pulled it off completely.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And now comes the moment we have all been desperately waiting for. The time where we know the results. Which is why now I call upon the stage our respectable and beloved principal, ma'am, Dr. Mayuri Khatri, to please come with the roll of hands and declare the much awaited results.
Good afternoon, everyone. The galaxy of orators here, Justice Tatya, Jagriti, my good friend, Ma'am Ranawat. I hope she'll excuse me calling her Jagriti. Jagriti, ma'am. I may not have been able to. The way you people have put it up, laudable, is part of life. Every time we lose, we are bound to win next time. The chance we get, every time you that is increasing the power of yourself. The competition is not between one another. No. It is you and between the next you. How you are going to be better what you are today. I hope the bachas who have come here, all are winners. So one round of applause for everyone with such a confidence. And when I was talking to Justice Tatya, I said I'm really impressed with the confidence of bachas. He said I'm depressed. And two of us were sailing in the same boat. Couldn't dare to compete with this generation. Probably, the topic was, as Ma'am Ranawat said, is timeless and very contemporary at the same time. But Justice Tatya also asked here, and it happened in my class, that ma'am, I am not ready to argue. And what is going to happen if I do not vote? How it is going to be any change anywhere in this world? Every single vote counts. Every single thought counts. And you being the generation next,
going to drive this nation, it is very important for us to sow the seeds of thoughts in you. This is the imbibement. I'm so very thankful to all the teacher faculty who have come from different schools to put in their great effort. Your parents, convey my thanks to your principals also. So very thankful to both the judges and heartfelt thanks to Justice Tata. You won't believe on 6th we just made a call to him stating that sir we are holding a debate competition, English debate competition. Last time you graced it as a judge. This time please grace the occasion as chief guest. And we were thinking that probably we'll say it because there were only 2 days left. He may say no. So humble and so kind, sir. We are very grateful to you. He said yes. And before the 2 judges came, he was never on premises. But I am so very excited to attend this session. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Without taking much of your time, I'm having the result. So the consolation prize of rupees 1500 goes to Himangi Bhargava of Vidyashram School. Himangi Bhargava.
I would request our jury members to kindly come on the stage and felicitate the winners and the chief guest as well.
Congratulations. The second runner-up with cash prize of 2000 is Nitisha Mandari of Sardar Doon Public School. Congratulations, Nitisha. With a cash prize of 3,000 rupees is from Sentence, Abhinav Oza. Abhinav Oza. Congratulations. Outstanding speaker of the day with cash prize of 4,000 is Dhanak Sharma from LRS. Congratulations. And the first prize goes to Purva Raneja from Senate with a cash prize of 5,000. Congratulations. And that way the trophy goes to St. Anne's School. May I request the teacher also? No, me. Please, please.
Thank you everyone. Thank you so much. I would request sir.
I request all the dignitaries to kindly stay on the stage to felicitate all the participants with a certificate of participation. Starting off with Dhruv Karan Singh from Happy Hour School. Krishnan Singh Nayak from Happy Hours. Arun Bhalia from Delhi Public School. Bhavya Islami from Delhi Public School. Tejas Singh Charan from Mahavir Public School. Bhavika Jambir from Mahavir Public School. Can we please have a huge round of applause for all the participants? Rishika Kavan from Vidyashram. Nikhil Kachawa from Lucky International School. Chitrangana Rathod from Bodhi International School. Garvit Tatia from Bodhi International School. Muskan from Army Public School. Prerna Bhati from Army Public School. Lakshita Soni from Sardar Doon Public School.
May I request my audience to give a huge round of applause for all the participants.
I humbly request all the winners to kindly come up on the stage for the group photograph.